The phone rang once, twice. I picked it up. Hello? Static crackled, and then a voice came through. Familiar, but older, rougher, urgent. Listen, don't hang up. I am you. I'm calling from the future. I laughed sarcastically. Right, and I suppose aliens are next. It's not a joke. The voice spoke quickly, almost too fast to follow. Your phone password is 5231498. Your bank password is iLive34B at. Your favorite colors are teal, charcoal black, and red. You don't drink cold drinks. Your account balance is $3,367,217,452. I stammered. No time, the voice said, urgent, almost breaking. In 3 months, there will be a zombie attack. They will tear everything apart. You must prepare. Stock supplies, go to the villa, lock it down, let no one in. Ashley, Noah, no one. They will betray you. And before I'm cut off, drop 3 drops of your blood on the diamond ring on your finger. Survive, please. A shriek tore through the line. It was my own voice, screaming in pain. Behind it, guttural roars and the snap of bone. Then silence. I held the phone, frozen. When you're exhausted, the impossible sometimes sounds possible. The plain white diamond Grandpa left me felt heavy, not as a keepsake, but an accusation. My head spun. I closed my eyes and tried to breathe. Then, shaking, I followed the instructions. I set the phone down, pricked my finger with a pin, and let 3 dark drops fall onto the stone. The diamond pulsed. A blue, translucent panel unfolded in front of me like a video game menu. Congratulations, host. You are the first to activate the system after your past self. Use these abilities wisely. Call your past self. One-time use. Used. New ability number 1, infinity storage. Status, unused. The voice from the system was flat, robotic. I whispered to the empty kitchen. So, this is real. The house creaked in reply, the old refrigerator groaning softly. I shivered. Zombies? That means the woman on the phone, she didn't make it. A chill ran down my spine. I tried to laugh, but it came out thin, shaky. Okay, let's not die like my past self. But before sleep, the system window blinked again. The Infinity Storage's interface lit with a new option. Memories, past and future. I pressed the past option. A vision blued. My great-grandmother appeared, bright, young, and radiant, a farmer holding what looked like a meteorite, but it wasn't just a rock. It was the same color as the system. Her smile was warm, her eyes so familiar it made my chest ache. She turned the stone in her hand, voice light and cheerful. This stone is so pretty, it almost feels like a good luck charm. Somehow, it split into 21 pieces, the exact number of our agriculture team. A man beside her raised his brow. That feels a little too convenient, don't you think? Another chuckled. Convenient or not, my son's radio company started booming right after we found this stone. If that's a coincidence, I'll take it. A woman with thick black hair leaned forward, her voice softer. My marriage was falling apart. We couldn't have children, but right after the stone appeared, I got pregnant with twins. Yes, a middle-aged man added, his voice full of excitement. My son was struggling to get a visa to go abroad, but after we found the stone, our entire family's visas were approved. Now we can all live together. Several others nodded in agreement, sharing similar stories of their fortunes mysteriously improving after discovering the stone. After listing their success stories, my great-grandmother grew resolute, holding the fragment as if it pulsed in her palm. Then she smiled again, steady, determined. Then it's settled. Each of us will keep one piece, and when our time comes, we'll pass them on, generation to generation. They all cheered, ignorant of the stone's true power. The irony was cruel. What seemed a harmless charm came alive, but only because I had died small and insignificant, like a fly crushed by fate. My head spun. I told myself firmly, sleep early tonight. You'll need all your strength. The next morning, I emptied nearly all of my bank accounts. I was a billionaire by inheritance, but my father had taught me to live simply and earn my way. Now, All of that, my small studio apartment, my modest life, every comfort I had chosen was set aside. My only goal is to survive the supposed wave. I walked into the office and handed my resignation to Thomas in HR. He blinked at the paper like he couldn't believe his eyes. "You're leaving?" he asked, pushing his glasses up. "Cynthia, you're one of our brightest. We could even raise your salary. You were on the promotion list this year." "I'm afraid that won't be possible," I said, keeping my voice calm. "Thank you, sir, but I have other plans." "Other plans?" He leaned forward, elbows on the desk. "You don't just walk away mid-project unless something's wrong. Talk to me." "I appreciate your concern," I said softly, "but I don't think anyone would believe me." "Try me?" he said. "It's not about belief, sir," I told him firmly. "It's about survival." Thomas frowned, his brow tight, but he didn't argue. "I'm listening," he said. I held his gaze for a moment longer. He really wanted to understand. I remember when I was just an intern, how he guided me patiently, like a mentor. Even when office gossip spread nasty rumors about us, he stayed calm and stood by me. When I stayed late finishing work, he'd say, "I also have some work today," though I knew he didn't. He looked out for me like a silent guardian. I took a deep breath and explained everything as simply as I could. The strange phone call, the diamond ring, the system. At first, confusion crossed his face, but then I saw understanding take over. "So, if what you're saying is true, we need to act fast," Thomas said. At first, I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He had never doubted me. "You get your fighters ready," he continued. "I'll warn the civilians and authorities, get them to the district shelter." Then he noticed my expression and added, "Don't be surprised, you should know by now. I'll always believe you. You can lie to others, but never to me." He paused, then said firmly, "I'm with you. You're not alone." I felt a swell of gratitude in my heart and replied, "Then I'll count on your backup." I started with the essentials: solar arrays, water purifiers, heaters and AC units, and combat drones. Seeds, livestock for the meat and eggs, crates of medicine, disinfectants, and bandages. Toiletries, because dignity matters even if the world ends. I stocked enough dry food of every kind I could find in the supermarket. I tried to add cooked meals to the inventory, and it blinked. Infinity storage detected. Perishable goods. Time and temperature control activated. System copy activated. Host, my system will automatically duplicate an item whenever the last one is used. Wow, it's amazing, I said to myself. Food wouldn't rot inside. Time for those goods froze. It will help so much in the apocalypse. Back at the superstore, the manager squinted at me. "Sorry, I can't help but wonder, why are you buying so much?" "For charity," I said. It wasn't a complete lie, of course. Back at the villa, Grandpa's old place, more dust than glory, I set my plans in motion. I built walls 50 feet high with reinforced steel, blast-proof windows in the greenhouse, and expanded the underground bunker to 20,000 square feet. Ventilated chambers for livestock, reservoirs for water, cameras covering every corner. Contractors worked day and night. Then I started buying weapons. Long-range weapons, rifles strong enough to pierce armor, precise and deadly. Close combat firearms, compact plasma carbines, light, quick, perfect for narrow streets or buildings. Capture tools, net launchers to trap even large zombies, keeping them still long enough to finish the job. Melee gear, energy blades that hummed faintly, sharp enough to slice through steel and bone alike. Then came the support gear, scanners to see through walls, portable drones for reconnaissance, and comm links that never jammed. When I stepped back, the piles didn't feel like shopping anymore. They felt like the foundation of an army. I fed the animals in the bunker like clockwork. Chickens clucked, pigs rooted in the dirt, pigeons cooed, and dogs stared at me with trusting eyes. Taking care of them kept me human in a way that weapons and steel could not. Then out of nowhere, Ashley sent a photo of herself with Noah, naked. She'd always wanted what was mine. Then Noah called. "Cindy, what's happening? You used to text. Are you cheating on me?" "What a joke," I said to myself. Then I blocked them both. I didn't need that noise. If they are going to betray me anyway, I might as well keep my distance. I went to my kitchen for some snacks, but the system's blue screen window blinked with numbers lined up under a strange name. Stone bearers? Phone numbers with different locations. I paused. Why the damn system is showing me these numbers? Then I remembered the vision of the past. Back in the vision, there were 21 people too. Could it be that these numbers are their supposed heirs? I was so shocked that I almost dropped my delicious chicken sandwich. But I didn't, of course. An index of 20 strangers who might become the last chance. I decided to send them a message. I typed one sentence. Drop 3 drops of your blood on your white, diamond-like stone which you inherited from your grandparents. Then I waited for a full day while playing with my furry companions. A reply came the next day. I did what you ask. We need to talk. The voice belonged to a young man. He sounded understandably skeptical and nervous. Who's this? I asked. Alex Veron, you sent instructions. I did. I told him the vision, the stones, the timeline. He laughed, nervous and small. You think I'll buy a bunker because some stranger said so? If I'm not wrong, you should also have gotten the system notification. You die if you don't follow. It sounds blunt when I say it now, but brute practicalities are luminous in crisis. He hesitated, then, all right, but if it's a prank, then I won't let you get away with this. Trust me, I want it to be false as much as you do, but right now I think the best thing to do is follow the damn system. After a few hours had passed, replies poured in. 21 names lit my screen. We introduced ourselves. Darius, ex-Navy, Lena, a military officer, May, a police officer, Raphael, weapons manufacturing, Alex, engineer. Secrecy is survival, I told the chat. No one sees your stone and how it works. A voice replied, all right, what's our first step? I said, shelters and food, underground if you can, independent power, supply lines, defense, do it now. Raphael chuckled. You mean like those movies? Yep, buckle up, buddy, I replied. They listened because the system gave them a countdown of 50 days. The evidence was right before them, and fear made them take it seriously. The system window blinked. Group ability activated. Shared network. Maps, blueprints, survival plans. Shared. 21 strangers became a cooperative in a single heartbeat. Weeks passed in a blur of work. Warehouses were bought. Pharmacies and suppliers delivered what we needed. Military-grade materials were collected through proper channels. Some of us joked about being modern-day generals. Before the first wave, I invited the 20 system hosts to my villa. Each person got a carefully prepared room. We talked for hours, planning strategies and making detailed plans. Some checked on their families to make sure they were safe, while others focused only on the mission. They were all from rich families, but none of them joined for money or comfort. They came because they felt it was their duty to their country and to survive. In the brief calm before chaos, Jonathan finally gathered his courage. He turned to Teresa, voice slightly shaky but determined. Teresa, would you be my girlfriend? Her eyes widened and she froze. The question hung between us like the calm before a storm. I can't, she stammered, cheeks flushed. Not now, but if we survive, then... He nodded, trying to hide his disappointment, but I could see it only made him more persistent, more determined. I smiled to myself, watching their awkward, tense interaction. I split us into 3 teams, Alpha with me, Beta with Lena, and Charlie with Alex, to fight through the zombie horde, and I kept overall control. Then the sky turned purple-black. I saw the sign and posted online, "Do not leave your shelters. The rain is poison. Survive the first wave." Some obeyed, some fled, others hid. Then the cyclone hit. The earth cracked, seas rose, and black rain burned our skin. The rain that followed was viscous and black, hissing when it hit skin. And then the humans changed. It began slowly. Blank eyes, pallor, then fissures of flesh, teeth lengthening. The first wave was literal corpses returning, but worse. Loved ones becoming predators. A mother tore at her child. A man attacked his own brother. We watched the world end on screens, Reporters from helicopters could only film in horror. News anchors fell silent mid-sentence, tried to flee but got brutally bitten. Shelters filled. That included the municipal center where Thomas had volunteered long before he knew my name. When the first scream cut through the static, Thomas texted me a single line. "I'm at the community shelter. We're overwhelmed." I typed back, "I'm coming." And I suited up so that my skin wouldn't touch the rain. I left the villa to volunteer. Thomas met me at the shelter entrance. Soot streaked his face. Fatigue weighed on him, making him look 10 years older. "You came," Thomas said, smiling despite it all. "I had to," I answered softly. Then I added, "to help my friend." I looked around the shelter. Mats, coughing survivors, flickering lanterns. "You did a good job here." He shook his head. "But we lost so many." "Don't lose hope," I said gently. "Hope matters more now than ever. I'm just glad you're safe. But don't push yourself too hard." He chuckled, weary but warm. "Talk about yourself. You're the one carrying the heaviest load. And thank you for the supplies." "You're welcome," I said. "Message me if you need more. Make sure no one goes hungry." For a moment, the noise of the shelter faded. His eyes lingered on mine. Not just gratitude, but something deeper. Unspoken. The shelter smelled of smoke and sweat. I prepared a hearty soup for everyone. Children whimpered against their mothers' sides. The concrete walls hummed with the weight of too many bodies and too many fears stacked together. I gave them food, water, and some high-protein snacks. Enough for 2 to 3 days. The system notification came in a blue screen. System window. Mission start. Objective: eradicate zombies. Reward: invisible cloak activated. When the black rain stopped, we started our mission. We moved like shadows. Invisible. Silent. Surgical. "Alpha team, rooftop perimeter," I ordered. "Beta, sweep east to west. Charlie, cover the bridge." "Copy," Lena replied. "2 heat signatures past the kiosk, Alex," said. "They are twitchy." My blade hummed. "Quiet kills. I go first. Darius, Raphael, flank left. Jonathan, Teresa, stay close. Everyone else, stay alert." Raphael grinned. "Quiet kills. More like quiet comedy. First one laughs in hell on me." "Focus, clown," I snapped. Darius smirked. "Don't worry. I'll make them die quietly." First 2 in view. Broken, twitching, hungry. I lunged. Blade through the first neck, wet thud. Second lunged. "Cover me," I shouted. Darius leapt, energy blade through one, net launcher catching a bigger one mid-lunge. Raphael and I cut the rest. Jonathan yelled, "Clear!" Alex buzzed on the comm. 3 more at the corner. Big cluster. Darius stepped up. 2 down before I even reached them. The third fell to a rifle shot he called in. The 4th crumpled under his blade. Raphael gagged. "Too much blood, my poetic soul." "Oh, I feel you, buddy." I gagged too. We worked like a machine. By sunrise, 3 blocks are silent. Rhythm. Kill. Mark. Move. "Teams report," I pant. Blades slick. "Alpha clear," Darius said. "Beta clear," Lena added. "Charlie clear," Alex, slightly humbled. "Good. Leave caches. Raphael, Darius, less joking, more stabbing." "Copy, Commander Cindy," Darius grinned. Thomas's Shelter Defense Division held civilians safe. Police, army, and volunteers patrolled the streets. Noah and Ashley organized medics, evacuation, and backup. Civilians stayed behind barricades while we cleared the streets. Thomas's division guided civilians. Police, army, and volunteers followed instructions. Alpha, Beta, and Charlie squads cleared the main streets. Drones scouted alleys, marking safe paths. We returned to the shelter, and a surprise was waiting for me. Ashley and Noah stumbled through, hollowed by exhaustion, clothes torn, skin streaked with dust. They didn't look like the people I once knew. Ashley's eyes locked on mine. Her breath was hitched, her voice small. Cindy. I froze. Of all the people the world had spat back into my orbit, it had to be them. Noah lurched forward first, voice cracking and pleading. Cindy, I'm so glad you're all right. I called you so many times. I thought you were dead. When the first wave hit, we panicked. We couldn't reach you, and I cut him off with a flat, stern tone. Sure, cheating couples should always stick together, but I'm actually glad to see you two are safe. Ashley flinched as if I'd struck her. Her lip trembled. I'm sorry, Cindy. Please forgive us. Forgiveness won't come so easily. Everyone wants to be forgiven of their crimes, I said evenly. But what defines you is what you do to others while you're clawing for your life. Noah's eyes glimmered with a mix of shame and regret, but he said nothing. Thomas, standing by the entry with his sleeves rolled up, cut in before I could answer. His voice was tired but firm. Then live differently now. No more excuses. Everyone pulls weight. Noah turned to him, swallowing hard. We'll work. Whatever you need. Guard shifts, hauling supplies. I don't care. Ashley's hands twisted together. I'll take care of the kids. Organize, teach, clean, whatever keeps me from just sitting here. Ashley looked up at me, shame and defiance warring in her face. I'm asking for a chance to be useful. Silence stretched. I could feel the eyes of others on us, families who didn't know our history, who only cared if two more hands would lighten their load. Finally, I shoved a steaming bowl of soup towards them. Eat. Then you'll work. Don't thank me. Thank Thomas. If it were just my choice... I let the sentence hang unfinished. Noah bowed his head. I will. We will. Ashley whispered, barely audible. We're sorry. I didn't answer. That night, they huddled together on a thin mat, steam rising from their bowls like ghostly shapes. When the children started crying, Ashley got up and sat with them, humming a half-remembered tune. Noah stood at the door, holding a makeshift baton, his jaw tight, as if he finally understood what it meant to protect others. They weren't forgiven, not yet, but being useful mattered more than being perfect, and survival didn't wait for forgiveness. By day 30, both sectors were stable. System confirmed that Wave 1 was now over. First wave survived, but Wave 2 loomed. A month after the first wave, the world changed again. The rain came back. This time, it affected animals, turning them into hunters. Dogs grew sharp bones and jumped like little tanks. Cows became huge and horned behemoths. Birds grew leathery wings and hunted with deadly skill. The system reacted immediately. Wave 2. Eliminate the beasts. Reward? Super protective suits. The suits arrived, sleek, flexible, absorbing hits that would tear flesh apart. We trained briefly before stepping out. Wave 2 was worse. Zombies looked human. Hesitation meant death. The beasts were gigantic, twisted, limbs mutated into weapons, jaws wider than any predator and faster than any normal creature, eyes glowing molten. Beta Squad, aim for the body, I ordered, voice steady as a beast charged down the street. Don't miss. Plasma bolts lit the morning like fireworks. Bolts burned holes in torsos. One beast stumbled, collapsed, steam rising from charred flesh. Holy hell, Raphael muttered as he lowered his rail rifle. Each shot costs more than my first house. Worth it if it keeps your ribs in place, Darius grunted as he slammed in another canister. I smirked. Another beast screamed out of the shadows. Yeah, my whole life savings went into this. It has to work, or we're finished. And God, terrifying. Whatever cute faces they had are long gone. I hear you, Cindy, Raphael shot back. Last time I screamed like this, a clown jumped out of a cake. Wait, Darius frowned. Why a clown in a cake? Don't ask. Raphael shot another beast. Ask my cousin's wedding planner if she's still alive. A creature the size of a truck smashed through a storefront, claws sparking against asphalt. Aim for the head, I yelled. Plasma bolts struck its skull until it exploded like rotten fruit. Chunks rained down. A piece landed on Raphael's shoulder, steaming. Please tell me that's not what I think it is, he started. Relax, Darius said. Just a piece of its face. Raphael gagged and fired again. The radio crackled. Lena's voice, panicked. 2 more coming! East Alley, fast movers! Copy, I snapped. Charlie squad, block them. Beta, stay with me. We sprinted through mud-slicked alleys. Beasts appeared, lean, fast, claws scraping brick like giant spiders. Great, Raphael groaned. Fun sizes now. Shut up and shoot, Darius barked. Plasma fire lit the walls. Screams, blood, chaos. When it ended, the alley was steaming corpses, walls dripping ichor. I wiped my visor. Wave 2, contained. Mark sector cleared. Raphael leaned on his rifle, breathing hard. Contained? Lady, that was trauma with extra steps. Meanwhile, Thomas ran the shelter like a natural leader, organizing civilians, volunteers, police, and army personnel. When a pack trapped a team clearing a hospital, he grabbed a fire axe, opened a stairwell, and led half the team out through smoke and horn. Competence saved lives. We dragged our exhausted bodies back to the makeshift camp. Rest was crucial after any fight. Wave 3. Gatekeepers emerge. Before dawn, the system's window blinked. Gatekeeper number 1, the black serpent approaching. From the broken earth rose a nightmare, a black serpent over 50 feet tall, 7 heads writhing in unison, each skull split open in a hiss, tongues dripping acid that sizzled on the pavement. When it slithered forward, the ground cracked like glass. I drew my energy blade, its hum steady in my grip. Alpha, rooftops. Beta, flank east. Charlie, hold the bridge, I commanded. Blades before bullets, I reminded my team. The serpent struck fast. 1 head lunged for me, 2 for Alex, others sweeping toward Beta Squad. Darius unleashed a cryosurge, freezing an entire head solid before Raphael's plasma bolt shattered it into shards. Lena peppered another head with rail fire, blinding it in 1 eye. I vaulted onto its body, blade biting into obsidian scales. The serpent bucked, smashing buildings apart as I clung tight, carving deep into its hide. Alex followed, hammering down where the heads joined the necks. Every head we killed, the others grew faster, angrier. Acid sprayed across the bridge, melting concrete. Darius threw up cryo walls to block it, while Raphael's cannon fire turned scales into slag. Screams and static filled the comms. Finally, we severed the last head in a storm of plasma and frost. The serpent convulsed, body coiling tighter and tighter, before collapsing in a thunder of stone and blood. The system blinked. Gatekeeper number 1, down. We limped back to camp, victorious, but shaken. Wave 3, gatekeepers emerge. Before dawn, the system window blinked. Gatekeeper number 2, the black scorpion approaching. From the desert ruins, it crawled, a 40-foot scorpion, armored in obsidian plates, stinger dripping with venom that smoked when it hit the ground. Spread wide, don't get cornered, I barked. The scorpion's claws snapped, crushing a wall like paper. Darius froze its legs with a cryosurge. Raphael blasted the joints until cracks split the armor. Alex vaulted onto its back, driving charges beneath the plates. The stinger whipped down, too fast. Lena fired rail rounds, forcing it back long enough for me to slice the tendon with my blade. The monster shrieked, staggering. Now, head, I shouted. Plasma fire and steel tore through its eyes until the beast convulsed, collapsing in a cloud of dust and venom. The system blinked. Gatekeeper number 2, down. We limped back, victorious but sharp and fleeting. Before dawn, the system window blinked. Gatekeeper number 3, the Lich King Titan approaching. A skeletal titan cloaked in black flames rose from the city ruins with staff in hand. 7 flaming skulls rotated above it like grim lanterns. From its shadow, a horde of undead scrambled up, moaning, tripping over rubble, some even bumping into each other. "Focus the Titan! Minions are mostly annoying background noise," I yelled. Darius froze a skeleton midair. Nice, midair ice sculpture. Raphael blasted plasma while ducking a flying arm. Seriously, who polishes these guys before battle? "Don't give it ideas," I snapped, diving through a wall of black fire and bone. Alex charged with me. "Your turn, Cindy. Stab the scary skeleton guy with flair." I slammed my blade into the Titan's chest, sparks flying. The Titan growled, if a skeleton can growl, and raised his staff. From the cracks in the street, undead hands grabbed Raphael's ankles. "Ah! I knew skipping leg day would come back to haunt me," he yelled, kicking wildly. The Titan swung his staff, sending a wave of black flames. Darius froze part of the inferno. "Iced coffee, anyone?" he joked. Lena sniped minions from a rooftop. They really need a union. So disorganized. I lunged again, hacking at the Titan's regenerating ribs. Alex drove a plasma blade into its skull. The Titan bellowed, flames burning, minions screaming, debris flying. Raphael flung a corpse like a boomerang. Catch! It smacked a skeleton in midair, spinning it like a top. Finally, I spotted the staff glowing. "Alex, it's now or never." We struck together, blade and plasma smashing the staff. The Titan shrieked, black flames swallowing its army, dragging them into ash. The skeletal giant toppled in a heap of bones and smoke, its flaming skulls wobbling before going out. The system blanked. Gatekeeper number 3, down. Raphael brushed ash off his armor. Note to self, never join a gym that trains against undead skeleton giants again. Darius laughed, slamming his ice gauntlet on a pile of bones. "Could be worse, at least they don't do taxes." We staggered through the ruins, exhausted, scorched, but somehow still laughing. The system window blinked faintly. "All missions completed. You all did a good job, host. Earth is safe for now. Rewards distributed. Full system mastery." Dawn broke soft and orange. The shattered streets were quiet, the city a ruin. But we were alive, scratched, bruised, limping, but alive. Tables overflowed with roasts, stews, fresh bread, cheeses, desserts, and bottles of wine. Laughter and clinking cutlery bounced through the courtyard as everyone grabbed their favorites from infinity storage. I paused, letting the calm wash over me. It had all started with a single phone call. Back then, betrayal seemed inevitable. Friends abandoned me, trust had shattered. Now, this courtyard was full of respect, loyalty, and most importantly, real friendship. Thomas slid a bowl toward me. I took his hand, squeezing it lightly. "Don't let me see you go hungry," he said softly. "I think I can manage, with a little help," I replied, smiling. Jonathan nudged Teresa as they passed, a bit more bravado in his eyes than usual. "So, now will you be my girlfriend?" His cheeks flushed, eyes wide, fumbling with his napkin. "Yes," she whispered. Relief and pride lit his face like a beacon. I caught Noah's eye across the table. He was trying to act casual, but the slump in his shoulders gave him away. He had asked me out countless times before, but I rarely accepted. My mind and heart were always elsewhere. I stayed busy, avoided dates, and let him and Ashley fill the gap, but my feelings for him weren't for Thomas, something I hadn't even realized myself until now. He was different. He always believed in me without question and was my biggest supporter. Thomas leaned closer, fingers still intertwined with mine. His presence felt like home, like the warmth of family I hadn't felt since my grandparents passed. The weight of it was undeniable, steady, comforting, grounding. Thomas leaned closer than me, hand still in mine. "Cindy, would you go out with me?" I laughed softly. The tension of battles and fear lifted from my shoulders. Yes. Raphael spun around, rifle in one hand. Wow, congratulations! Give us a break, Darius smirked, brushing ice shards from his suit. The courtyard was alive. Civilians cleared rubble, soldiers rebuilt walls, and even Raphael helped, tripping over a beam in classic comedic fashion. Hey, that's choreographed, he protested. Comedy doesn't rebuild cities, Raphael, Darius muttered, shaking his head. Alex handed Lena a cup of water. For the battles and the ones we haven't faced yet. Cheers, Lena replied, clinking it against his. The courtyard erupted in playful groans and exaggerated eye rolls from the rest of the team. Raphael and Darius chuckled loudly, pretending jealousy. Even Noah and Ashley looked a little deflated. The whole experience changed something in them fundamentally. Jonathan and Teresa held hands across the table, and Thomas and I mirrored them, fingers entwined. A few playful groans and exaggerated eye rolls rippled through the team. Raphael grinned. Man, I'm starting to feel single again. Then take me, Darius shot back, joking. All right, wifey, Raphael teased. Wife? Where's my ring, you cheapskate husband? Raphael laughed. Next time you're on debris duty only, Darius added, smirking. Later, I stared at the stone. The vision shimmered. Cities across the globe, towers crumbling, fire raining, a countdown, 5 years. The next wave wasn't here yet, but it would come, and it wouldn't wait. I grinned cold and determined. 5 years? Then the world learns what happens when you ignore the host. The team laughed around me, unaware of the looming storm. But now we have time, and we will fight again. The system window blinked faintly. All missions completed. You all did a good job, host. Earth is safe for now. Rewards distributed. Full system mastery. Dawn broke soft and orange. The shattered streets were quiet. The city a ruin, but we were alive. Scratched, bruised, limping, but alive. Tables overflowed with roast, stews, fresh bread, cheeses, desserts, and bottles of wine. Laughter and clinking cutlery bounced through the courtyard as everyone grabbed their favorites from infinity storage. I paused, letting the calm wash over me. It had all started with a single phone call. Back then, betrayal seemed inevitable. Friends had abandoned me. Trust had shattered. Now, this courtyard was full of respect, loyalty, and most importantly, real friendship. Thomas slid a bowl toward me. I took his hand, squeezing it lightly. Don't let me see you go hungry, he said softly. I think I can manage, with a little help, I replied, smiling. Jonathan nudged Teresa as they passed, a bit more bravado in his eyes than usual. So, now, will you be my girlfriend? Her cheeks flushed, eyes wide, fumbling with her napkin. Yes, she whispered. Relief and pride lit his face like a beacon. I caught Noah's eye across the table. He was trying to act casual, but the slump in his shoulders gave him away. He had asked me out countless times before, but I rarely accepted. My mind and heart were always elsewhere. I stayed busy, avoided dates, and let him and Ashley fill the gap. But my feelings had never been for him. Ashley had sensed the opening and tried to get closer to Noah. Though she succeeded in drawing him in, her interference couldn't reach what I felt for Thomas, something I hadn't even realized until now. He was different. He always believed in me without question and was my biggest supporter. Thomas leaned closer, fingers still intertwined with mine. His presence felt like home, like the warmth of family I hadn't felt since my grandparents passed. The weight of it was undeniable, steady, comforting, grounding. Thomas leaned closer to me, hand still in mine. Cindy, would you go out with me? I laughed softly, the tension of battles and fear lifting from my shoulders. Yes. Raphael spun around, rifle in one hand. Wow, congratulations. Give us a break, Darius smirked, brushing ice shards from his suit. The courtyard was alive. Civilians cleared rubble, soldiers rebuilt walls, and even Raphael helped, tripping over a beam in classic comedy fashion. Hey, that's choreographed, he protested. Comedy doesn't rebuild cities, Raphael. Darius muttered, shaking his head. Alex handed Lena a cup of water. For the battles, and the ones we haven't faced yet. Cheers, Lena replied, clinking it against his. The courtyard erupted in playful groans and exaggerated eye rolls from the rest of the team. Raphael and Darius chuckled loudly, pretending jealousy. Even Noah and Ashley looked a little deflated. The whole experience changed something in them fundamentally. Jonathan and Teresa held hands across the table, and Thomas and I mirrored them, fingers intertwined. A few playful groans and exaggerated eye rolls rippled through the team. Raphael grinned. Man, I'm starting to feel single again. Then take me, Darius shot back, joking. All right, wifey, Raphael teased. Wife? Where's my ring, you cheapskate husband? Raphael laughed. Next time, you're on debris duty only, Darius added, smirking. Later, I stared at the stone. The vision shimmered. Cities across the globe, towers crumbling, fire raining. A countdown. 5 years. The next wave wasn't here yet, but it would come, and it wouldn't wait. I grinned, cold and determined. 5 years? Then the world learns what happens when you ignore the host. The team laughed around me, unaware of the looming storm. But now we have time, and we will fight again.